Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Clash of Kings, chapters 60 and 61, Sansa and Tyrion. In these chapters, Sansa talks with Cersei and fears for her life. Tyrion fights and almost loses his life. I don't know. It was confusing. Things were happening, but also I don't know. So here we are.
There was a lot happening.
Yeah. The whole Tyrion chapter, I was like, wait, what happened? Wait, who
No,
there?
literally-
I stopped trying to keep track of all the fights.
Me too. And the thing was, like, it was only 8 pages, so I was kind of like, oh, this is a way to end off the fight. And then I kind of got started, and, 4 pages took me, what it usually takes me, 10 pages to read, or, 12 pages. And I was like, what is happening? And on top of that, trying to... Because first, the thing is, first you have to understand what's happening to then interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean? But I couldn't even understand what was happening. But I think by the end, I got to some location. I don't know if I got to the right location. I think I kind of felt a little bit like Tyrion when the thing moved and he was a little disoriented. Yeah. That's how I felt. Mm-hmm. I really related to him, but that's okay. We'll get into it.
Yeah, Okay, we should start this in earnest. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. What was I gonna say?
We haven't recorded in a month.
Oh, right.
So we have an excuse to be bad at this.
We always haven't recorded in a month, so it's no longer an excuse.
That's not true. That's not true, because the last couple of months we were recording weekly.
That's true. It's okay. Yeah, with Tyrion, I remember the gist of the chapter, and I remember, some of the cool things, but I didn't remember all the chaos, and I just got so caught up in it that I was having to be okay, pause, because what I do is I listen to the audiobook as I am reading. It just speeds up the reading process for me. Then I would still be trying to figure out what's happening, and the audiobook would be 2 pages ahead of me, and I would be calm down.
That's true. Oh my god, yeah.
So anyway, let's get into it.
Yes,
so
sir.
Who died in these chapters?
Stop. Well, okay, this time I was thinking about this as I was reading them. And as far as I remember, there wasn't a named character who died. There was one point where I thought a named character died, but then they didn't. Once again, the convolution of the Tyrion chapter. Wait, give me a second. Let me see if I need to redact that statement. Nobody, in Sansa's, it was just they were just updating us on stuff we already knew.
Plus, there were some people who were beheaded for being traitors.
Okay, yeah, but they weren't named, right?
Yeah, but okay, I'm just reminding you that there was somebody who died.
In general, yes. And then in Tyrion's chapter, there was a lot of bloodshed. Tyrion killed a few people who were already kind of dying, and then he, killed some people, and then the Eminem also killed other people.
Mandon Moore.
Mandon and Meryn.
Meryn was not there. It was Balon Swan.
Oh.
Balon.
Why did my brain go to Meryn? Probably because of the Mandon. Anyway, the M and B. B and M, did some stuff. Pod did some stuff too.
Okay. What happened to Mandon Moore at the end?
Oh shit, right, because Pod was like, right, okay, so yes. Now that we mentioned Pod, yes, that's true. He did technically, probably, likely die.
Okay, who, can you just say in a statement who exactly died? Because all of you right now is basically what Tyrion's chapter was.
Okay, so, we had some traitors beheaded. We had some non-named characters. Some of Tyrion's people did die. I would, and then some of the people who brought in the thingy. Some of Stannis' people also died, but also unnamed. And then Mandor, what's his name?
Mandon.
Yes, him. He also probably died.
Okay, cool. Then let's summarize, shall we?
No, thank you. We can skip this for today.
No, we cannot. So get ready. 3, 2, 1, summarize.
Okay, so Sansa's still in the, what was it called? Queen's balcony, something, banquet, I don't know, banquet hall, I don't
Ballroom.
know, it doesn't matter, ballroom, yes, ballroom, and they're still there, and she's like, okay, if you're so salty, why did you invite them? And she's like, because I have honor to uphold in case we make it out alive, but I don't think we're gonna make it out alive, and then they're, getting updates on stuff we already knew from the O brothers, and then Queen's like, okay, well, do you want to know, you gotta take some gotta down some truth in you, buddy.
Okay,
and then
switch.
She's like, oh, frick, I said nothing. Tyrion is there, everything is confusing. He's starting the little fight. They've made it to, like, the people bringing up the ram to try and open the door, and they're like, Wah! And then they either run away or they, like, try to fight, and then, like, most of them, they die or whatever, and then, like, dead people, and then they see, like, oh my god, that's where they're coming in from, like, there's this bridge from those leftover ships and stuff, and they're like, oh my gosh, we gotta get over there, and then they're kind of working on stopping them, and then it's like Tyrion, Mandon, and B-Dude,
okay,
and they're there.
That's a minute.
Great
job.
These chapters had no pages, and I still was unable to say anything useful.
Okay. Moving right along. I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. Sansa. So, Sansa's in the Queen's ballroom with the rest of the people that are packed in there, and they're feasting, but, like, people aren't really feeling it, The Queen is drinking heavily, and I gotta say, drunk Cersei is very entertaining, Cersei. I
love drunk Cersei. Drunk Cersei is so cynical, but, like, also kind of an icon that I want to be friends with. I feel like she would keep me in check. She'd be like, the fuck are you on about? Have you heard yourself? And I'd be like, okay.
Right, but I don't know how, like, useful her advice is.
Hey, that's... hey, is anyone in this kingdom useful? But yes.
Yeah, so everybody's like, there's like, so by the way, Dantos makes an appearance. You were wondering where he was at. And
yes, he is.
So he's here keeping the guests entertained, and people are, laughing along, but she says it's the kind of laughter that can turn into sobbing in like half a heartbeat, and I was like, ooh.
It's a joyless laughter, and the food was flavored with fear. I loved that. That was a good alliteration.
And like Lawless, no, who is it that is it Lawless who cries? No. It's one of the knight's wives, like just some random person, a newlywed bride or young bride. I don't know. Somebody starts crying, and Cersei's like, ugh, tears. Such a woman's weapon. I've got better weapons. I'll tell you all about them in 2 minutes.
The man's weapon is a sword.
Yeah. And Cersei's just like kind of all over the place. She's like, ugh, these people, I hate them. And I hate being in here with them. I would rather be like out there fighting. And she's like remembering what Jaime's told her about like being in a fight, and she tells Sansa that Jaime once told me that he only feels truly alive in battle and in bed. Now, that seems like a whatever statement, but also reminder, Jaime's supposed to not have sex with people, like, as a member of the King's Guard, and like,
right?
She's just like, yeah, he said that to me. It's cool.
Oh
like,
my god. Yeah, everything here that she's saying, I'm like, you guys aren't, alone right now.
Yeah. Like, Sansa's probably not gonna say anything to anyone.
I know, but like, still.
But yes, there's a lot of people around that could overhear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
there's
calls.
There's a lot of life advice that she might need to know if she ever marries Joffrey.
Yeah.
As Cersei puts it.
Yeah, because she's, like I said, not feeling this vibe, and Sansa's like, but you asked them to be here, and she's like, yeah, that's what's expected of me, and it'll be expected of you if you're ever queen. And that part, I was like, yeah, that's fair, like that's a legitimate reality of being queen. And then she goes into like, oh, it would be great if we win because they'll speak of my courage and how I kept them all happy during this time or whatever. But if we lose, we are in for, what is it she says, a bit of raping and murder and mutilation and torture. Just all the fun stuff. Like, she's not sugarcoating it for anyone.
Sansa's like, okay, but like we have a status in this society, like they wouldn't do that. Cersei's like, that doesn't really, like, all that kind of gets dissolved when there's war and
it won't be the first thing people consider. It's gonna be like afterwards that people are like, oh right, you matter and I can probably get money for you. But
like in the moment when you've just been killing people for days, you're gonna continue killing and mutilating and everything else that's very pleasant.
But that was also like true, like, this is facts. I get it.
Yes.
And then Cersei's like, I love this part, were it anyone else outside the gates I might hope to beguile him, but this is Stannis Baratheon. I'd have a better chance of seducing his horse.
Oh my God.
And Sansa's just so shook. She's like, what? Are we talking about this? Like, this is a society where they don't talk about anything. And then all of a sudden, Cersei's just like so frank with her. It is, Sansa is shook.
Yeah, Sansa's like,
shooketh.
What? Yep, exactly. Oh my God.
Yeah, and this is where she explains that tears are not a woman's only weapon. There's another one between your legs, and you best learn to use it, which tells you a lot about Cersei's mentality, like the way she thinks about the world and how she like navigates it. I'm not blaming her for doing it. Like, use sex for whatever you want, but it is how she uses it, which also makes you think, so who are the people that she's had sex with that we know of? Like with Robert, she was forced to.
Robert, Jaime,
Lancel,
cousin.
How is I wonder how she uses sex with Jaime and Lancel.
I was thinking of that too, because do you remember last time we were also talking about like, oh my God, Jaime's been so faithful to Cersei, but Cersei hasn't. But in Cersei's eyes, like men have swords. I'm doing this because I don't get a sword. Like, to her, well, of course Jaime doesn't need to cheat on me,
Right. He already has all the privileges, whereas I have to kind of snatch what I want.
Yeah. So it's not really like
but what does she want from Jaime?
I don't know. I feel like there's, especially after this chapter, I feel like there's like if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna, like, get you and myself killed by this man. But is Joffrey alive? And like, I feel like up until now I was just kind of like, okay, like it's her son. But now I'm like, I don't know, there's this sense of like she's like kind of trying to experience that through Joffrey and Jaime as well, because it's not something that she's ever going to be allowed to do.
Right. Yeah. They are her sources of power because she isn't given the power directly. Like that's definitely the case for Joffrey, because her power as regent comes from the fact that he is technically king, right? So, it's for sure, like, I would say, like, her feelings towards Joffrey are tied up. Like, of course, he's her son. She probably has some feelings for him. Yeah. But, like, also, more so, I feel like in the interactions we've seen her, she puts more of her energies towards Joffrey than Tommen or Marcella, because Joffrey's, like, the direct power source, Yeah. So, and Cersei's kind of really self-centered. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm reaching with that statement. Like, she finds the one person that's the most like her to have sex with, and like her attachment with her kids stems from, to some degree, with what they can offer her, you know, like,
yeah, definitely. And
it's like they're extensions of her, so she's like, yeah, you're cool, I'll look after you. But like,
yeah,
all of the Lannisters kind of have this like Lannisters versus the world kind of perspective.
that is true,
right?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
There's the Lannisters, and then there's everybody else, like screw everyone.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
I don't know. My thoughts are all over the place. I'm not like,
no.
There's no
makes
coherent
sense.
thesis here, okay, folks? If you're looking for that,
I think
go elsewhere.
I think there is. Cersei is self-centered. That is, you literally started with this thesis, and you're saying there's no thesis. Cersei is pretty self-centered. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
That's why I love her. Like, it's like I hate her, but I love her.
I wonder if we had like her perspective, what that would be like.
I feel like I would want to punch her, and like,
if you read her perspective, you would be frustrated with her.
I would be frustrated with her, but like equally enthused. Do you remember that scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine when there was like it was Holt's birthday party, and you know the 9-9 crew got invited.
Yeah.
And
everybody centered around Gina.
Yes.
All the psychologists finding Gina to be the most.
Yeah, and all the psychologists are like, okay, and then why did you do that? And Gina's like, well, I'm the best. You know, like, that was kind of how the entire conversation went. That's kind of, like, the Cersei dynamic that I feel like I would be the psychologist if we got Cersei's
just
perspective.
Be so fascinated with the way her mind works.
Yeah, because, you know, Gina was saying a lot of very self-centered and, like, awful things, but everyone was like, whoa. Because it wasn't really like she was a human.
Like, how did she come to that conclusion? Yeah.
Right? It was less like a human conversation and more of like a, you know, when you're like, oh my god, that rabbit didn't grab that carrot. Like, it really felt more like a study than a conversation. So I feel like that's kind of how I would
like
feel.
Some Cersei chapters.
Oh yeah, that would be so fun.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, there's like talk of all the Kettle Blacks and how like Sir Osmond is now known as like really cool, and like people think he's really strong, but Sansa's like, yeah, if he's so strong, why did we never hear of him before? Like,
yeah, okay, I always like, these are the Kettle Blacks are like the people that we talk about pretty much every time, but every single time I forget who they are. So can you remind me like when they were introduced? Because I'm kind of feeling like Sansa, where I'm like, when did they become important?
They were these like hedge knights out in the city that Cersei was trying to like get on her side to work against Tyrion, but Tyrion found out about them through Lancel and bought them off through Bronn. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And then somehow they like double backed and are now on Cersei's side, like hardcore. I can't remember if Cersei found out.
Oh yeah, because Cersei had taken
Alyaya?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They were responsible for taking Alyaya into custody. That's true. So, and she's like made one of them a Kingsguard, so maybe she's like bribing them through, you know, positions and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems at this point they're firmly on Cersei's side. And they are kind of like, I don't know, they're good at working the game, kind of they're on everybody's good side, except Tyrion's, but like, you know, Sansa's noting how like even the grooms and the huntsmen, like all the servants like them as well as the knights and the whatevers. And so
one of them has even been like Joffrey's right-hand person.
Yes, that's recently. The Sir Osmond is the one who's been made a Kingsguard, I think. I don't know. They're all their names are
same. Yeah. Their initials are okay.
I guess they're okay.
Yeah.
And then that makes me think of Om Shanti Om. Okay, we're gonna move on. Oh, and Cersei's getting like updates throughout, like basically all the stuff that we have seen up to this point. And then she gets told that two boys, no, not two boys, the boys, I don't know who the boys are, but somebody caught a groom and two maidservants trying to sneak out. And Cersei's like, okay, well, let's behead them and put out their heads on the pikes as a warning to anybody else who might want to betray us.
Yes. Yes. And then we get some more Cersei wisdom.
This particular wisdom is that the only way to keep your people loyal is to make certain that they fear you more than they do the enemy.
Interesting.
Cersei, who taught you this?
Interesting take.
Do we know about... Oh, no. Wait, I don't want to say anything. Oh, I don't want to say too much. But, like, we know about Tywin's reputation. I feel like this is also how he operates.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying, like, he probably feared his own kids into submission? Probably. I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, I wasn't... Well, probably, but that was not what I was thinking. I just can't think of the specific thing.
Okay. That's
and
okay.
If we've, like... addressed it in the books yet or not.
Okay.
I mean, we will for sure. It's soon at some point. What do we know about Tywin? Why don't you tell me that?
We know he's awful. We know that he, after he found out that his kid married like a sex worker, he got that person raped in front of everyone and all that. And then we know that he, you know, until Jaime got captured, Jaime was like the light of his life. And then we know that he doesn't really respect Cersei. So I'm assuming there's some history there.
Okay, so I guess we haven't heard about this one incident that I'm thinking of. But anyway. Yes, so meanwhile Sansa's like, yeah, I don't... Like, she's like, oh, that's good advice, Your Grace. But at the same time, she's like, I'm never, ever going to be like that. If I'm ever queen, I'm going to make sure people love me. And that's why they'll be loyal to me. And I'm like, go, Sansa. That's the way to go.
Queen.
And then there's more food. And, like, Lawless is... gets sick at one point. Lord Giles, like, the whole sentence is... Lord Giles coughed, drank, and passed out. And Cersei is not very pleased with him. She, it says, the gods must have been mad to waste manhood on the likes of him, and I must have been mad to demand his release. So she's basically like, why does somebody like him get the privilege of being a man in this society while I have to deal with this bullshit, you know?
Yep.
So... she's bitter. She's bitter about that for sure.
I don't know about that.
To what, like... There's a lot of conversations about, like, people call it, like, penis ennui. Some people will say, like, she's trans. I don't think it's that. I just think she's... It's not that so much that she wants to be a man, more so that she is envious of the privileges that men get, right?
Yeah, because even in the next paragraph, she's saying like, we were equal, but we weren't. She's not like, so it really feels like it's not like she's like, oh my god, like I want to be as amazing as Jaime, or like I want this thing. It's more like why does not having she's saying I'm amazing, I just don't have that thing. Why does it... You know what I mean?
Why is that the be-all and end-all?
Yeah, because, you know, there's also that self-absorbency in there. So I feel like because of that as well, it's not so much that she, like, really desires it. She's just like, what the fuck? I am literally more amazing than you. Why does this matter?
Yeah. But anyway, she's not happy with Giles, and she's wishing that she had left him to rot wherever he had him captured. And then there's some people, like rich merchants, show up at the gates of the castle demanding to be let in, and she's like, yeah, we're not gonna do that, and if they don't leave, kill a few of them, but don't open the doors.
Oh my god.
So yay.
Yay.
And then, but like, Cersei really does not like, these people, I guess they're not like nobilities, so they don't like deserve to be let in, but they've got money. And once this is over, whichever, if for some reason, if you survive this, you know, you're going to need these people on your side, and you're just like not doing anything for them.
Yeah. I think in this moment, Cersei is just like not thinking about any of that, like, at all.
Yeah. So then she goes into her telling Sansa about how it was like when she and Jaime were young. We were so alike that even our Lord Father could not tell us apart. Sometimes as a lark, we would dress in each other's clothes and spend a whole day each as the other. Why does there need to be an each in there? Sorry. No, this sentence confused me as I was reading it. Yeah, so yet even so, when Jaime was given his first sword, there was none for me. And she's, you know, he got to be the Lord of Castle Rock, or the heir to Castle Rock, whereas I was to be sold to some stranger like a horse. And we know that's basically what happened to her, and I would be bitter about it too.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering, like, is this, the way she describes it, is she saying, like, theoretically, like, this is my role in society, or is she saying this specifically happened to me? Because she said, like, I was to be sold, blah, 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 whenever, to be ridden whenever my new owner liked, beaten whenever he liked, and cast aside in time for, like, is she saying that is what happened, or is she just saying, like, that's, as a woman, my role, a woman in nobility, like, that's what I'm supposed to do?
I feel like she's also saying that that's also what happened.
So Robert, like, beat her? Did we know this?
Remember he beat her, or he slapped her in front of Ned that one time?
Okay, right.
We know of that, and afterwards when Ned, like, goes to talk to her, she says, like, never to the face, but he has hit me before.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because everything else I was like, okay, yeah, we know that that's happened, but I just wasn't sure about that. Okay.
Yeah, and the cast aside in time for a younger filly, that... remember all of Renly's plan to replace Cersei with Marjorie Tyrell.
Right?
And this is like this whole fear. Cersei actually voices this way back when Bran catches them.
What did she
in
say?
that tower, they're talking about how, like, Cersei's like, oh, it's only a matter of time before I'm set aside for somebody younger.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, something like that. I remember her saying that.
Damn.
So, like, this is a fear, and, like...
It's real. It's what...
Yeah, like, Renly was actively planning to make it real.
Right,
so,
yes. Lovely.
I don't know, like... Yeah, and Robert doesn't seem like the kind of guy to really... He didn't care for Cersei, so I feel like he totally would have set her aside. Although I don't know, like, the... legal ramifications, I don't know how that works. Okay, my brain's not working, so I don't want to think about it.
Okay.
Okay, then we get the news of how Tyrion has gone out to fight Stannis' people who have crossed over, and she's like, oh, where's Joffrey? And Joffrey's out by the Mudgate flinging naked people into the fighting. Yay. And she orders the Kettleblacks to bring him back to the castle, which Tyrion strictly forbade because he needs Joffrey out there to keep the morale up, right? And even... like, one of them tries to object, but she's like, no, I don't care what my brother said. You're going to do what I tell you, or you yourself are going to have to go fight and die and, you know, all of that.
Yep.
So what do you think this action, what kind of ramifications do you see from this action?
I mean, I just feel like we've already had some traitors, and I feel like this is just more like, oh my god, he's not even here with us. Let's book it, people.
Yeah. When they break, they'll break bad.
Yes.
So there's, you know, singing, and there's some sad songs, which I'm like, why are you singing sad songs when you're trying to cheer people up? Like, what's the point of this? But
maybe it's a singer who only knows sad songs. It's like a balladeer.
But Sansa starts getting a little teary-eyed, and Cersei's like, "Oh, save those tears. You're gonna need them for Stannis."
Oh my god.
And she tells Sansa that, "I know of all of your little treasons in the Godswood."
Yeah.
And Sansa is freaking out, but she
This was scary.
outwardly keeps her cool, and she's like, "Oh, but I only go there to pray." And Cersei is like, "Yeah, but you pray to your dad's gods and you play for our defeat, so that's basically treason."
Oh, that was scary. I was like,
Did you think that she actually knew?
I didn't think she I didn't have a chance to process that. I was just like, holy fuck. If Dantos said something, like, Sansa needs to go punch him right now. Even though that wouldn't be a good idea either. But I was just like, I just kept reading before even, like, I wasn't even
considering what was going on. Yeah.
I was just like,
that's
what?
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, Godswood?
Then Cersei forces Sansa to chug down a whole cup of wine, which is way too strong. And she's like, "I will not be the only drunk here." So.
Essentially.
And Sir Ilan Payne is there, and he's just beheaded those traitors and hasn't even bothered to clean his sword, or Ned's sword, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And Cersei at this point is just like wasted. Like at one point she was like, I'm not gonna drink any more wine, but it seems like she's continued.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Let me tell you why he's really here. Stannis may take the city and he may take the throne, but I will not suffer him to judge me. I do not mean for him to have us alive. The Starks will have no joy from the fall of House Lannister, I promise you." And then she like reaches over and brushes Sansa's hair away from her like neck to like mark the spot of where she's gonna like behead her, which is like I felt was a little too.
It was a little too much. The girl, you've already given the girl too many things she does not need to hear, but you know.
But anyway, so now we know why Sir Ilan is there.
Yay! Truth and authenticity. Cersei's brand. She has an interesting dynamic with Sansa. Because she's always like coaching Sansa, but also like, "Oh my god, you're so dumb." But like also like, "I don't really want you here." It's just like a weird, I can't figure it out.
All of Cersei is like because she's bitter about the patriarchy, but doesn't mean that she's like, got a sense of camaraderie with other women. She's like, you know, like so it's really weird.
Because it's weird.
Like, it sucks that this is our lot in life, but also
I'm better than you.
Suck.
Yeah. Yeah, because
like she's demeaning all the women that are like gathered around her, and she never once acknowledges the role patriarchy plays in that, you know. She's like, if it were up to me, I would be out and sword, like, you know, fighting. But like,
yeah, it's not that she's like, she doesn't see it as like, oh, like women and men are equal. She sees it as more like, oh, well, I'm more strong than like everyone. Like, it's like a weird like
it's like she thinks that if she were a man, she would be the greatest man of all time. Exactly, of thing.
Yeah. Because currently she's the best woman of all time, above.
Yeah, like she's the best she can be with the limitations she's provided. But I don't know about that. Like, given all the advice that we've heard from her, like, most of it is not good advice.
I think the way she defines being the best woman is being the most powerful and like the most, you know.
Yeah, like, but I feel like she also thinks she's very smart, and she's really not. Don't you agree, though?
Why isn't she smart?
I'm sorry. Refer to said advice.
but she's like drunk. I feel like somebody's drunk advice isn't an indication of their
that is fair. Yeah, but like we haven't really seen her not drunk giving like making decisions, you know. Like we saw her way back when things were going down with Ned and she made some bad decisions then. Like Barristan, for example, and letting Joffrey have power to kill Ned, that kind of stuff, you know. So
well, Joffrey having power to kill Ned was not Cersei's fault.
Well, no, it wasn't her fault exactly, but she also didn't work to anticipate or control him.
That's true. Like she knew her son better than that, but still, I don't. That's the one thing I can't blame her for.
All right, fine, we can't blame her fully for it, but like,
just in
the
general,
whole reason Tywin sent Tyrion to King's Landing is because Cersei was failing and doing all of the right things.
That is true. That's
but
fair.
Also, like,
but also at the
Lannister
same time,
right thing is like, oh.
Yeah, but like also, I don't know. It was also more like I feel like we haven't really seen that much of Cersei's capabilities in that because she's not like ever allowed to do that. Like when Robert was alive, it was Robert, and then it was, you know, it was like they would listen to Joffrey.
So you
and
think
not
if
her.
like it were all kind of down to her to make the decisions, not while drunk, she would make them.
I think she could make them. I don't think she would be as good as Tyrion because I think Tyrion's like really good at, you know, what he does. And
yeah,
it's pretty
he's
obvious.
a strategic mind in the family. Yeah,
but I do think that like we can't, you know, assume one way or the other. Like I think she could have been better than we've seen her be, but I just feel like I don't know. I want to give her more credit.
Although I do have to say, like, okay, so she's drunk in this chapter and she makes some questionable decisions in, like, you know, hanging people or beheading people and then making, like, having people fear her, whatever. And then in pulling Joffrey out of the fighting and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those are, like, we can say she's drunk, so she makes those decisions. But I feel like the rest of her, like, wisdom is
just what she believes.
Yeah, because like the drinking is bringing it out. Usually she keeps it like,
that's true,
you know, inside and doesn't share it with people. But now she's like, you will hear everything I have to say.
That's true, but I think it's also that's true. I guess like part of being intelligent is being, you know, to some degree disillusioned, and some of her wisdom is like very like, this is the way I've experienced the world. But it's like she doesn't realize that like, okay,
she's a complicated figure.
She's very complicated, but she doesn't like realize like, okay, this isn't how it would be in every case. So I don't know. I think she has certain forms of intelligence. Emotional intelligence, I don't think so.
So in conclusion, Cersei
is interesting.
Be complicated.
Yes, there's really no conclusion here. Moving on. We should probably go to the next chapter.
Yes, we really should.
We've spent 40 minutes talking about a 7-page chapter.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's okay.
Most of that was just like talking about Cersei, just because she's so fascinating.
Yeah, that's true. See, Cersei is what I wish Theon works up to be. Like, I want him to be entertaining. If he's gonna be awful, toss some spice in there.
Okay.
Like, anyway, yeah.
Where is Theon right now? I
don't even remember.
What is he?
Isn't he still at Winterfell and then
Oh
Asha
yeah,
left?
his sister abandoned him. Well, like, she was like, come with me,
No.
but he chose to be abandoned by his sister.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, sorry. Let's go back to Tyrion.
Yes.
So, fight.
Die. Yeah. So last chapter we had heard about, there's hundreds of people bringing up the ram to break open the King's Gate, and that is, you know, about to happen, and Tyrion, and, you know, we'd learned about, like, the Clegane being like, fire, no thank you. And
so Tyrion's out leading the sortie.
Yes.
And he's got Sir Mandon Moore with him, and Podrick is there, even though he's like, you're too young, but Podrick's like, but I'm your squire. And it was like, like, if Podrick hadn't been there, Tyrion would be dead.
Oh, yeah. And like, damn, Podrick, like, he was being so brave. Now I understand Mott's obsession with
Podrick.
Yes. I am on the Podrick train now.
Okay, sorry, I was remembering something, but I'm not gonna say it. So,
okay.
I'm just gonna, like, point out some highlights. It's a lot of fight, die.
Yes, sir.
So at one point, Tyrion's like trotting on his horse, and his horse like stumbles over a corpse, and like for an instant, it's like he's gonna fall out, but somehow they manage to keep their balance, and it's like, whew, like that could have what does he say? For an instant, Tyrion feared his charge would end with him tumbling from the saddle before he even reached the foe. And like that would have been the saddest thing.
That would have been the end of Tyrion right
like,
there.
Let's also talk about the fact that Tyrion's kind of a killing machine. Like,
yo.
Right?
He does a lot. He does a lot in this one. Like, he has a full-on, like, you know, like when you're playing, like, Mario Kart or something. I've, like, played Mario Kart once. I don't know why I'm giving this example. Or, like, you know, any game where it's, like, you get, like, a coin or something and it's, like, power up. I feel like that's literally what happened with Tyrion. He got, like, one kill and then he was, like, and then he went to the next level and then he went to the next level and then, you know, it just kind of kept happening.
He's got the battle fever.
Yes.
So they disperse all the people that are trying to batter the gate, and people start cheering for King's Landing and the Half Man, which is exciting. And he describes like his battle fever in the war shrank to the size of his eyelid. Knights twice his size fled from him, or stood and died. They seemed little things and fearful. Lannister, he shouted, slaying. His arm was red to the elbow, glistening in the light off the river. When his horse reared again, he shook his axe at the stars and heard them call out, "Half man, half man." Tyrion felt drunk. Like, this is like, oh, he's like really in the moment. I wish there were like more witnesses to his like coolness, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there were like people cheering from the gates and stuff, so someone saw it.
Yeah. And he remembers Jaime telling him about battle fever and how like everything else seems slow and people seem like it's just like a piece of cake to kill them all. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I don't like at one side I'm like, oh, there's so much killing, but also I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah. He's like, you don't feel, you don't think, you're not yourself. You're just charging at every enemy and time slows down. I'm like, okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Pop off.
And he's just killing left and right. And at one point, somebody
yields
a knight yields to him and hands him his gauntlet as like you know, symbol of yielding. And turns out the dude's hand is still in the gauntlet that he handed. And oh man, this is just like such a gory moment in the middle of it. You know, like it's all gory, but like this one, whew.
Yep.
And then they notice that a bunch of people, like Stannis's people, are coming shore, and they're like, how? And that's when Tyrion notices that all of the broken ships, not all, like a bunch of them, have kind of jammed together in a row so that there's basically this bridge from the other side of the river that Stannis's people are crossing over. Yeah. And
there's like hundreds of people doing this.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's kind of dangerous goings. Good for them. Those are brave men, he told Sir Balin in admiration. Let's go kill them. Also, though, okay, hang on. So once he's on this bridge, he's like noting how unstable it is. And at any moment, they could be like swept into downriver and into the flaming everything.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if Tyrion didn't have battle fever at this moment, he would have like probably thought of a better way to do this rather than just charging
jumping onto the bridge and like
somehow like destabilize the bridge so that it does like you know, fall and everybody dies, and then like you've accomplished your goal. But he's so in the moment that he doesn't even think about that.
That's true. Or maybe like a few people meet him on that side, a few people meet him as like, you know what I mean, so you don't have to actually get on the bridge, or you can like be on one side or something. I don't know.
Or
some
like
sort of charged
there's
attack.
only one place where they can be coming off, so like you form a circle and you kill them one by one.
Yeah, but it really was just like, fall. I am here to fight.
Yeah, he was so in it. So yeah, Cersei's drunk on wine, Tyrion's drunk on fighting.
Yay.
And he's like just fighting. His horse falls and breaks a leg, and he has to kill it, which like is the merciful thing. But then he's like fighting on foot, and then at one point he loses his knife and he gains a spear and he can't remember how. He's just like in such a blur
state. Yeah.
And then
as they're fighting, he's like, he describes it in such a like, he has so much like almost like admiration for the moment where like Balin Swan and Mandon Moore, he's like, his two white shadows were always with him. Balin Swan and Mandon Moore, beautiful in their pale plate. I'm like, damn, you're really like romanticizing this moment.
Yeah. And until a naked man falls from the sky and bursts like a melon dropped from a tower, which oof. Oh, yep. So gross, but oh my god. Also, to note, it never says a corpse. It says a naked man. So Joffrey's flinging these people alive from the trebuchets.
What the fuck?
To explode to death. Just want to put that out there.
Where are these people from? Oh, it was like the traders and stuff, right?
Yeah, these are the antler men. Remember, he's nailed antlers to their heads because they were on Stannis' side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So at one point, the ship he's on breaks apart from the bridge and kind of like lists to the side, and he slides to the water and has to like climb back up, and it like the whole like at the everything is kind of like spin around, the ship spun around, he's like really confused by it. And he notes that on one side of him was a raging battle, a great confusion of bright banners waving above a sea of struggling men, shield walls forming and breaking, mounted knights cutting through the press, dust and mud and blood and smoke. On the other side, the red keep loomed high on its hill, spitting fire. And he's like, wait, what? Why is the red keep over there? But that's where the fighting is. And then he's like, no, okay, I got spun around. But if the red keep's there, then who's fighting Stannis? Got any thoughts on that?
Okay, this might be a stretch, but in my
we love stretches.
This is, yes, we are gymnasts up in here. Nav just gymnastics their way to their spot, so, and I like to stretch ideas to a point where they don't make sense anymore. So we're all gymnasts.
You realize you're podcast. Referencing things that people have no idea what you're talking about.
Do I care? I'm kidding. Of course I care. Nav has a lot of possessions.
Why is that? Folks, I am moving. I'm literally in the middle of moving, and there's boxes all over my floor, so I had to like jump over stuff. That was not the relevant point of that. So when I sat down, I told Harmut that I had to gymnast my way over here, and that's what she's referencing an hour later.
Yeah, and my gymnasting, my gymnang is, I don't know, I'm just, saying things, is stretching things to a point where they don't make sense anymore.
What is the stretch
point? Sorry. So, I'm thinking, what if the mountain people are back? Because now there's no one for them to fight, and now they're back, and now they're fighting Stannis on his side. And it makes sense, because they're shouting... What are they shouting?
I mean, they never really left. They did go cross over to where Stannis is, and they were trying to harry his party.
Yeah. And they were shouting, like, half man, and that was, like, their thing. They would always say that. So.
That's true.
So, I think that it's that.
Yeah, because Tyrion is like, who taught them half man?
Yeah, so I think that could be it. It could also... Because I don't think, like, that was really the only way for them to, like, sort of, like, get across and stuff, and, like, and even, Tyrion says, the Red Keep is that way, they're that way, so it has to be, and I don't think it's, like, Stannis' men fighting amongst themselves or something. That doesn't really make sense to me. There's...
Yeah, that's a good theory, I would say. Yeah, especially given, honestly, I hadn't really put together they're yelling half man, and somebody probably told them to yell half man, and that probably somehow stemmed from the mountain men. So that makes total sense to me. But are there enough mountain men to really like make a difference?
Well, yeah, because we're losing a bunch of Stannis' men too, right? And like, I know, like
That's true.
and I know, the chain's still up, so there's still that blockage.
But there's a few hundred mountain men and a few thousand Stannis' men, not counting the one on the ships.
Oh, well, maybe, I mean, they could be losing the battle, but still, like,
right. He doesn't say that they're winning. That's so true.
they're
just that there's fighting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on then. So at one point, at this point, he's kind of like barely hanging on, and he's hanging from the deck of a sinking ship. Not even deck, like the side or upside down side. I don't know.
Somewhere.
Somewhere on a ship.
Somewhere
and it's gonna
over
sink.
The rainbow.
And he needs to get on to a stable platform. And that's when he hears, "My lord, take my hand, my lord Tyrion." And he turns to see Sir Mandon Moore on a nearby ship, and who's extending his hand to let Tyrion over onto the deck. And as Tyrion reaches for Mandon Moore's hand, he has like, "Oh, hang on. Why are you holding out your left hand? It makes no sense." And he kind of like pulls back for just a second, just like in the confusion. Mm-hmm. And in that, Mandon Moore strikes with a sword to Tyrion's face. It would have probably taken his head. We'll talk about this moment in a second. Okay. But Tyrion like falls and has to again like cling on to an oar and try to work his way up a deck. Yep. And as he like that takes the last of his strength. Once he's on that deck, he can't even like lift a hand. He's so like all of the adrenaline that was rushing through him has just gone, And Sir Mandon's standing over him with a sword like raised to push it through Tyrion's throat.
Yep.
When suddenly he gets pushed to the left and overboard and sinks and probably dies because he's in his, all the armor, and that doesn't work well with water.
As we learned from, what was this, Davos last time? Davos was like, we be wearing armor.
Yeah. And Tyrion's like, "Wait, oh my god, I'm saved. Was it Jaime? Who else would save him if not his brother?" That was like such a sad kind of thing.
Sad.
Especially considering that Jaime's probably dead.
Oh my god, stop. Yeah. And it was so sad that like he was like, it can't have been like he could,
yeah.
Like that.
He has such faith in Jaime that Jaime would like cross the world, break through
that too, but like also just like he had such like he just was like, everyone else hates me so much. That's the part I was referring to. I don't really care about Jaime enough to be like, oh, he loves Jaime. Like, yeah, he does, but like, I don't really care. But like, just the fact that he's like, nobody else would care enough to save me.
But like, Jaime's his big brother, and it's the only,
I know,
like,
but still, I don't really care. I get it, but I just don't care.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right. But he hears somebody say, "Be still, my lord, you're hurt bad." And he's like, "What? That sounds like a kid's voice. It almost sounds like Pod."
Podrick Payne, the OG.
Yeah,
he is the gold standard for, what's his position? Assistant? He's like...
a squire.
Yes, he is the gold standard for squires. Take notes,
and
people!
Let me remind you, this kid is like 12.
I love this kid. This kid's moral backbone and like ability to actually be a good knight is up there. This is high. This is nice. I like him.
He'll make a good knight if he ever survives.
Will. I swear to God, if he dies.
What?
No, because the way you say it,
you have more of a reaction to the potential of Podrick dying than you had to Bran and Rickon kind of for sure dying.
Yeah, because that, like, I don't know. I don't really have, I don't really have, like, a reason to defend that, but I just like Podrick more. He's more interesting.
Okay. All right.
I rank fictional characters by their entertainment value.
All right.
Just kidding.
So you're telling me that Rickon, in his wild wolf ways, is not entertaining?
He's like fine. He's giving angsty like 6-7-year-old, and I just don't care.
He's 3.
Wait, Rickon's 3?
Yeah, maybe he's 4 now, but like no older than that.
Oh, because Bran's like 9 or 10, right?
Yeah,
oh.
Bran's 8 now.
Oh my god, okay. All these
Arya's probably
ages,
10.
Wow, all these people's ages are not adding up in my mind. Okay. Gotcha. Wow, okay, now I feel bad for being okay with his death. He's like, okay, it's okay, it's fine.
All right.
He's okay. He's alive.
Okay, fine. We're gonna backtrack to this moment where Sir Mandon Moore tried to slash Tyrion. Okay. Does he not realize that Tyrion is sinking, and if he does nothing, Tyrion will die? Why did he have to, like, offer him his hand in the first place? And then if he did, why did he have to slash him? Just, like, let him go when he's halfway across the thing and let him sink there. Like...
Wait, what?
Okay, so Tyrion is over here on a boat, sinking, right?
Yes.
And Mandon Moore is over here on a boat, trying to lend a hand to Tyrion, and there's water here. So he can either let Tyrion sink and do nothing, or he can offer him a hand and be like, oops, you slipped, and let him sink there.
Oh, like, why does he need to slay him?
Yeah, that's like, why asking? The sword? Like, why, if the goal is to kill Tyrion, then why the apparatus?
Oh, I hadn't really thought about that. I guess it's just like, okay, now I know he's definitely killed, and not like, you know, like after when Podrick saved him or like something like that.
Don't want to leave it to chance.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, that's like I was like racking my brain for an explanation. I could not think of one, but that's a plausible one. I will accept it. Okay. Why did he try to kill Tyrion?
Yeah, this is interesting. Maybe because there's not that many people who are like left from the battle or whatever, right? So is it like, I don't know, like, I have a few thoughts. Maybe like, is he trying to like take credit for it after and be like, this worked because of me? But also there's still fighting and other people going on, so that's not gonna work. Like, why are you killing one of your men? And then at the same time, I'm like trying to think, like, did Tyrion ever like punish him specifically for something that he's like salty at Tyrion about? Or maybe he's also like, because, you know, Tyrion being there, like, because if Tyrion's not there, then like, who's in charge? It's like Joffrey and Cersei. So maybe it's like he just like doesn't like Tyrion, like, you know what I mean? And then, or maybe he's a traitor and he's like, oh, by killing Tyrion, that's my, like, peace offering. I don't know. I feel like those are my...
Or, might I offer you another possibility? He's a member of the Kingsguard and takes his orders from the royal family.
So Cersei was like, kill Tyrion?
I don't know. Was Cersei like kill Tyrion?
Why would Cersei do that, though?
Because she loves him so very much.
No, because, like... Okay, so maybe me defending her earlier for having intelligence, maybe I need to take that entire debate back. Because if that's the case, then... Okay, but I didn't think that was even a possibility, because I thought Cersei was a little bit more intelligent than that.
Okay, but... Alright. There's other people in the royal family who could command a Kingsguard. Okay,
so like Joffrey.
Yes, he can command a Kingsguard. That's true.
Who's the leader of the Kingsguard now? Jaime.
Yeah.
I don't think he crossed from the 7 seas, and dead, by the way, did that.
He's not across the 7 seas.
Or across a sea. Or a lake.
No.
A lake, at least, right? Definitely. He's definitely across a few lakes.
Rivers.
Okay, well, yeah,
like, I
whatever.
mean, there's lakes along the way, but I don't know if he's across.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Technicalities aside. I guess it could have been, like, someone on, like, the council or whatever. Like, Varys could have been like, do this, but, like, why would any of those... I don't know. I don't like that theory.
Okay. All right. It's just my job to present most
alternatives. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. All right. I need to backtrack to remember what questions to ask you. Okay, Sansa, is she gonna survive this battle? Whatever the outcome.
I am gonna have hope that she will.
Wait, no, hang on. Let's talk about the outcome. Oh, who's gonna win this?
I feel like I don't know.
Last time you were like, it'll be like a partial victory until...
Yeah, until Stannis takes over. I think that it is... Oh, that's what I said.
I don't know, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, let's... No, but now with the whole potential of Sansa dying, I don't like that theory. So I'm gonna go in the opposite direction. It'll be a partial Land Clan win until Stannis is like, Brr-pow! Or like Melisandre gets called back, or like something changes, and then Stannis wins. Just long enough for Sansa to survive and Cersei to not still be holed up in there and get Sansa killed. Because, like, I don't know. I don't think Sansa's gonna die. I don't know if that's, like, really naive of me. I don't know if there needs to be a Stark death every book. So we're just gonna go with Sansa isn't gonna die. And backtracking from that, in order for Sansa not to die, there needs to be a temporary Lannister win. So, yeah.
Okay, so temporary Lannister win. Mm-hmm. How temporary? Like a day, a week, a month, a year?
Like a week.
Okay. And where is Stannis? Well, they're temporarily...
Stannis is planning...
Like back on Dragonstone?
No. Like here.
Or across the river, like where he's now?
Yes. He's still like...
Okay.
Like, the temporary win isn't like, oh, we won. The temporary win is like, oh, we thought we won, but Stannis is still alive. Oops. You know? Like, I don't know, maybe commanding the Shadow Babies has given him some... Oh, well, he wasn't the one commanding them, but I don't know. Maybe, like, being a father to Shadow Babies has given him, like, some form of, like, something. Some, you know, one-time death protection, something. I don't know. So it'll be, like, some form of, like, oh, Stannis is dead, yay, and then he won't be dead.
So Stannis is coming back from the dead.
He's not coming back from the dead. They'll think he's dead, but he's not dead.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
These theories are very realistic, might I add.
That's cool. I don't know what to say to that. Okay. All right. So Sansa will survive. But, like, whenever Stannis gets around to winning, mm-hmm. How is Sansa going to be safe at that point?
She won't. She might yield, and Stannis might not, like, kill her, you know? Just kind of...
No, but how will she be safe from Cersei killing her off?
Oh, because Cersei will be killed off. Well, no, but I don't think Cersei's gonna die. No, Cersei's gonna die. Cersei will be killed off. Cersei will, like... Yeah, Cersei will find a way to, like... get her... No, but then she also doesn't want Sansa to survive. And I don't see Cersei dying without taking Sansa with her. Okay, they're both gonna survive. Cersei will get captured before she can, you know, kill herself. Because it'll be unexpected that Stannis is still alive.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. So Stannis is gonna sneak attack.
Kinda.
Okay. All right. Moving on. I can't dwell on this any longer. So Joffrey's being fetched back to the castle. Will he make it there safely?
Ooh, I really hope not. He probably will. Like, I mean, it's Joffrey. He might, like, I don't know, like, lose a limb, but, like, he'll be alive. Like, he'll definitely get attacked, you know, but I don't think he'll die.
And the people that, like, his people that see him fleeing or, you know, hiding, will they stop fighting if he's not there? Like, will there be negative?
Yeah, I think there will just be, like, more traitors and, like, all of that just adding up over the next week or whatever this battle goes.
Wow, that would be a long time. So nothing about Sir Dantos or their plan to escape. Nothing.
Yeah.
No progress on that.
That doesn't really feel plausible now, especially with the whole, I'm gonna kill you if Stannis doesn't get you. Or if Stannis is about to get you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Tyrion, is he gonna survive?
Yes. Pod has got him. Pod has got him. What is it with so many people recently, like, fake dying and then not actually dying? Like Bran, Rickon.
Did Tyrion fake die?
Not fake die, but like almost like have
almost
like a death,
die.
Near death.
It's almost like they're living in a dangerous world or something. I don't know.
Oh my god. No, because usually it's like, oh, this person wants to kill me, but it's not like, oh, they're right in front of me and they attempted to kill me and failed. It's usually like, oh, they just haven't been able to do it yet. You know?
Right. Okay. And you think... Wait, why did you think Meryn wanted to kill Tyrion?
Lots of potential reasons. Potential traitorhood, potential just like general benefits of like Tyrion not being the one in charge. Like maybe they had more like freedom when Cersei and Joffrey were running the
so
place.
He's doing it of his own volition?
Yes. And then you had proposed someone being like, oh, do this because you're a Kingsguard and you're under my command. So I guess that's
or like paid him to, like you know.
Yeah, that's possible, but I don't think so.
All right. And it's the Mountain Men that are fighting Stannis, but they're not going to do too well. Then how are they going to temporarily win? Or is it that they'll win at keeping him from crossing over?
Like keep Stannis from crossing over, you're asking? Like,
yes.
Is that what they're going to do?
Like you said, they're temporarily going to win. What is the temporary win going to look like?
Yeah, I think it's like the keeping him from crossing over. And then like even the people that are able to cross over, like, I mean, there's still some people on the other side, right? That can like fight. We haven't exhausted all our options yet. Right? They just didn't want to fight in that fire and stuff. So if we stop the fire, maybe we have some more
So I don't know if
options.
that would count as a temporary win. That would more be like a delay.
Okay, then yeah, it'll be a delay. Until Stannis wins. For some reason.
Alright, then. That's all I can think. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's talk next chapters, and then we have an email and stuff to get into.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Alright, we are reading 2 chapters next time. Hope's predictions.
Okay, I'm thinking Jon and Catelyn.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
Because we're reading chapter 62 and 63 next time.
Mm-hmm.
And chapter 62 is Sansa.
This is odd. We've had a Sansa we've had her 4 times in the last 5 episodes. Or 3 times. We're about to have her 4 times in the last 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Damn, okay. I mean, Sansa hopefully isn't, oh my god, what if we're having more of her because she's about to die? No.
I don't know. That's not what happened when Ned died. We only barely ever saw him.
That's not true. We saw Ned all the time. That's why we didn't need to speed it up.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, that did not sound sarcastic.
The thing about me being... the way I do sarcasm is I just say it like a totally plain faced, and you just have to know me to know I'm being sarcastic.
Okay, well, I know you pretty well, and
you clearly don't.
You were just bad at being sarcastic, is what you're trying to say. Anyway, yeah. So maybe I need to change my prediction. Sansa's about to die. That actually kind of sucks. Damn. I mean, okay.
Okay, so you think she's gonna die? Is that what we're gonna see in the chapter?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be Ellen Payne that kills her?
I mean, yeah.
With her father's sword.
Yes.
Father and daughter killed by the same sword.
Yes, I mean, yeah. That's just how it is these days.
All right, Sansa's gonna die. Then chapter 63 is Daenerys.
Dany, what is she up to? Oh, we had her, like, dream vibes last time we saw her, right?
Yes, she went to the House of the Undying and had a lot of visions and burned that shit to the ground.
Oh, yeah, right. I said she was gonna, go to a shy or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Something like that. Yeah, that.
So this is her in a shy, on her way to a shy, deciding to go to the shy, like... This is
a, traveling.
I don't know. That's why I asked.
This is a traveling chapter. This is some sea sighting, or sightseeing. Not sea sighting. This is some...
It almost kind of made sense because they would probably have to go by ship, so it would be like sea.
Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have corrected myself then. Anyway, some sightseeing, sights including...
Sea sightseeing?
Yes, that. And then, seeing some sand and roads. I don't know why there's sand there or roads, but, like the paths and stuff.
Oh, the highway from Karth to Shy.
Highway 165, take this exit to Shy. That's exactly what's gonna happen, yes.
Okay, all right. That's all I got. So let's talk about that email. Let me pull it up.
I'm so excited. I like emails, if you couldn't tell.
So the email is titled Love/Hate Theon.
That's funny.
I love how most of our emails are Theon centered.
I don't know if I love that, but it is entertaining for sure. I'm like,
it's
no,
just
I
like
don't.
People have strong
what
feelings.
I mean is, yeah, exactly. But I don't know if I love how much attention we give Theon on this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, part of me wants to just never acknowledge his existence, but it is very entertaining to get the emails.
Okay, our people, the next email you write us better be about what's an underrated character.
Podrick Payne.
Okay, we've had one about Podrick Payne. Let's get a different one.
The next email will be about Sansa, especially because she's probably about to die, so we need some Sansa appreciation up in here.
All right. Everybody, you heard her.
Mm-hmm.
Please oblige. Okay, now, the email reads, Hello, Naven Harmuth. Writing in from Brazil as someone who just discovered your podcast this month is now caught up to the last episode posted. Wow, that was a lot of episodes you listened to.
That's amazing! Wow.
I love, there's like 6 O's in that love. I love listening to your hatred for Theon, and whenever I read his chapters in A Clash of Kings, I hate him as well. His thoughts and actions are very disgusting, and I feel the need to punch him in every paragraph. But the thing is, I think his conflict between Stark and Greyjoy, the two houses that have immensely impacted him, but at the same time don't fully embrace him, is so interesting and well written that I kind of don't hate him. I don't know, it's complicated, but can you hate someone at the same time sympathize with their struggle on a very deep level? Maybe that's how I feel about him.
I think that's just I think that's just called being a good person.
Yeah, like, okay, you know what? By the way, the writer is Lorena, and Lorena, I agree with you. Like, yes, it sucks, but also he sucks. Like, the situation sucks, but he sucks. So, like,
yeah, Lorena, I
feel we're justified.
I think you're just a good person, because that's just what it is like, even when someone's awful, it's like, you can acknowledge how awful they are and not forgive them for it, but still understand, like, why that's happening to them, so.
Yeah. So, it's all valid. And then there's a little part specifically addressed to me, which I will not read to you.
Why? That's not fair.
Spoilers.
Whatever.
And Lorena signs off with, anyways, keep on with the good work. Love, Lorena. Thank you, Lorena, so much. We are so glad you wrote, and we're so glad that you've joined us.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's amazing that you binged everything. Please keep listening, because we're about to finish the second. We're about to finish the second book.
Which reminds me, y'all. Okay, so I started doing this with the first book way like in the middle of the first book because we we didn't know when we were going to be releasing stuff because we were just recording and not releasing anything because I was lazy with my editing. We're not going to talk about it. So we are approaching the end of this book, as y'all know. So please send in your questions, your theories, anything that you want us to talk about. We will do like a wrap up end of book episode after we finish this book, and it'll be great, and I'm looking forward to it. And I really hope that y'all send in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, send so much stuff. We got some dissection to do. Let's do it.
And don't send it in a place where Harmut can see it, because I want it to be genuine reactions when she sees it. So send it either just to me or in the spoilers chat, or like, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can email. That's probably a great way, because then I can like have a folder of just those emails. That would actually be really helpful. So maybe email me, but I will also look elsewhere. So don't worry. So on that note, join our Discord. The link is in the show notes, as always. Email us. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And don't forget to join us on Instagram @popculturesymposium. And anything else?
I think that's everything.
Until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.